Howdy, this is Credit Grinding, back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I cover the round 1 results for the Medusa and Darkhawk arenas, then jump into some round 2 predictions. So first, the round 1 results. So for the most part, these came in very similar to what we've seen with Captain America Infinity War. So an old champ, an old feature champ that's been in there before, and like Medusa, but still very relevant in the game, still kind of a high-end, top-tier type champ. Both we've seen this recently with Captain America Infinity War, and again we see it here with Medusa. And coming over to Darkhawk, kind of as expected, that medium interest, somewhere between 2 to 3 million, with his actual cutoff going to 2.4 million, with the 5-star feature Medusa at 35 million, and the 4-star feature Medusa at 5.8 million. Since these results kind of came in as expected, when I compare these to my predictions, they were in the ballpark. And as a reminder, I try to get within 5 to 10%, and while they're in the ballpark, they were right on the fringe, right at that 8, 9% to 10% range. Nobody actually was on 10%, but more 8 to 9%. So definitely within the ballpark that I try to get into. Sure, on the lower side of that, but definitely try to get within the range that I got. So for the most part, this is where I try to get with these types of predictions. Now keep in mind, that's why I always give the grind targets too, because grind targets is really what you should go after, because in this case, my guesstimates, if you will, the predictions, came within that 10% zone, but underneath the actual cutoffs. If you went to the grind targets, you got the champs. If you didn't go to the grind targets and just played the predictions, given they're only trying to get within 5 to 10%, you would have missed out this time. So keep that in mind, especially if you like to use my channel to help you kind of gauge on how far you want to go in the arenas. So with all looking at the round 1 results, let's take a look at some past similar arena results in round 2 to maybe get an idea of what's going to happen this time for round 2. So starting first with the 5-star feature arena, you can see when speaking of Captain America Infinity War, the last time that he came in as a feature champ, he was right around that 35 million cutoff, and then actually jumped to 37. When we see Star-Lord, again another old feature champ, a many-time feature champ, but that's come back, but still very relevant to the game, especially if duped. He came in at 28 million and jumped to 30 million, so he too jumped up 2 million in the second round. Proxima Midnight, not necessarily in the same, I still think she's a good champ, maybe not at the same level as Star-Lord and Captain America Infinity War, but you can see she came in at 33 in the first round and was 33 million in the second round. And lastly, Iron Man Infinity War, he actually dropped. So when we look at 3 out of these most recent 5 type similar arenas, you can see that 3 of them increased, 1 of them stayed the same, and the second one, and 1 of them actually dropped. Now here recently we've seen the plateau where you had a similar round 1 and round 2. And most recently within Iron Man Infinity War, we actually saw a decrease. But the Captain America and Star-Lord arenas were so close compared to these other 2 that the bigger trend, if it's not much of a trend when it only happens twice, it seems to be slightly increased. But no matter what, we're not talking about a major decrease from round 1 to round 2. If anything, we're seeing an increase. Coming over to the 4-star feature, you can see going all the way back to the Captain America, there was actually a decrease, but then again, his 4-star feature was at 6 million in round 1 and just dropped a little bit down to 5.9 million. Now, Star-Lord went from 5.1 to 5.3, so there was an increase. Proxima Midnight went from 5.7, more similar to the Medusa score, then jumped up to 6 million, and then we saw Iron Man Infinity War most recently go from 5.3 to 6 million. So for 3 out of the 4 instances, you saw an increase, and only 1 did you see a decrease, and that 1 happened to have the highest round 1 cutoff compared to the rest. So it's pretty clear here on this one, definitely more so clear than the 5-star feature. We can expect an increase in the second round for the 4-star feature Medusa. Then with the 4-star basic, I think we see something kind of similar. A little bit farther back even than the Captain America Infinity War, you have Symbiote Supreme, who kind of fell on that medium interest 2 to 3 million first round cutoff, and he actually had a decrease to 1.8 million roughly, so there was a pretty significant decrease. For Venom the Duck, it went from 1.8 to 1.9, Champion went from 2.3 to 2.4, and most recently Night Thrasher kind of stayed right around that 2 million zone with a slight decrease, but really it's the difference is so marginal. It didn't even break a million. It's still within 200, even within 100,000, the same 100,000, so roughly the same score. So when we look at these, two out of the four increased. One of them roughly said the same, and then we had, for whatever reason, a drop with Symbiote Supreme. More often than not, it looks like these are having an increase or staying the same for a 4-star basic arena, and I think that's what we can pretty much expect with Darkhawk. And then lastly, coming with a 3-star feature arena results, you can see that, I mean, this is pretty standard. There's they're basically the same, even though you see spikes here. That when you got to look at the range on the y-axis to realize you're not really dealing with much of an increase at all. You're roughly dealing with the same numbers. So considering these trends, or what we have of the trends, considering the 5-star feature recent past results, here are my thoughts for the round 2 predictions for the veterans bracket, meaning your account. Veterans bracket means your account has been open for over 61 days. I think we're looking at 36 million for the 5-star feature Medusa. I think we're looking at 6 million for the 4-star feature Medusa. I think we're looking at 2.5 million for the 4-star basic Darkhawk arena. And lastly, I think we're seeing roughly around 670 to 700,000 for the 3-star feature Medusa. And again, these predictions are for the veterans bracket. Now, again, grind targets are important. Keep these in mind. These two are for the veterans bracket. We're looking at roughly 39 million. If you really want to make sure you don't miss out on that 5-star feature Medusa, you're looking at 6.2 million for the 4-star feature Medusa, 2.8 million for Darkhawk, and lastly 700 to 710,000 for that 3-star feature Medusa. Both, again, these grind targets and predictions are for the veterans bracket. When it comes to the earlier brackets, these are very volatile brackets. They're changing all the time from one month to the next. There's new accounts coming to the game. Agent accounts move from the beginners to intermediate, and so forth and so on. So I always appreciate the input coming in from the community on my videos, that it helps me kind of gauge these. So based off the latest input that I received over the last couple of days, and specifically from the results from the round 1, I think for the 3-star feature Medusa, we're looking around 200,000. This is a slight decrease from what I've seen in the past based off of more recent information over the last 2 days. 4-star basic, we're looking around 800,000, and the 4-star feature, we're looking at about 1.1 million. And again, the beginners bracket is if your account's been open from 1 to 30 days. On the intermediate bracket, meaning your account's been open 31 to 60 days, 3-star feature looking around 400,000. Again, this is a slight decrease based off of recent information from the community. 4-star basically, you're looking around 900,000. It was actually reported a little lower in the first round for Darkhawk. If anything, I expect a slight rebound back up a slight, but not significant here. And then for the 4-star feature, these numbers again, both for Namor and now rolling into Medusa, have kind of spiked over 1 million. So look around 1.4 to 1.5 million. So anyway, these are my thoughts for the second round of the Medusa and Darkhawk arenas. I would love to hear your opinion, especially if it's different than mine. Throw your thoughts down in the comment section of this video, and happy to discuss it there. And if you have questions, throw them down there as well, and I will try to get to them as soon as possible. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, we'd really appreciate if you click that thumbs up button. And if you like this and other videos on the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, we really appreciate it if you would. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.